everyone, and welcome to this new conversation of excellence. I am so excited today. As you can see, I'm not alone. I am here with Nyekachi Douglas. She is Miss World Africa. She is, let me really quote it, most beautiful girl in Nigeria. And I mean, I met her. Her video went viral when she was showing an expression of leadership of excellence while encouraging someone who was actually winning in front of her eyes. I mean, and I met her the first time I met her. What I absolutely loved about you, Nyekachi, is the fact that you're just a sharing person, a sharing leader. And I'm so delighted that you took some time to come with us for these conversations. Nyekachi, welcome.
Thank you very much. Hearing someone with from your side of the world that has accomplished so much address me as so big is an amazing thing for me. It's a huge privilege, and I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story and to be able to reach someone with my story. That is something that's been really important to me as I've been growing up, and listening to other people's stories has pretty much brought me where I am today. And
Mm.
thank you, honestly. And it's crazy to be on the same platform, uh, to speak on the same platform where really prestigious people have spoken on Mary Buffett. I mean, it's crazy. And I remember when I was coming, I'm preparing for MBG, and I remember something that I said was my biggest weakness was speaking. But now it's crazy how I've been able to speak on a platform like this, and I've even been invited by Forbes to speak as a keynote speaker. So it's crazy, and I just want people to know that. And you might think it's your weakness, but if you put your mind to it and you even consider trying it, just try it, it's going to be a lot easier than you imagine, trust me. So yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
You are an inspiration. I mean, you inspired me. And before we dig into the conversation, I'm so excited. I wanted first to know, is there anything else besides what I said to introduce you that you want people to know about you before we dig into the conversation?
um Aside from myself, I think I want people to know that I am a human being. I am
Mm,
imperfect. I make mistakes, and I know the world has kind of put me in a place where I'm supposedly the most selfless person in this world. But then, selflessness is something that I aspire towards, and I'm working towards every day, and I love it, and I want to be, and I just want people to know that more than being a beauty queen and being a Miss World Africa or being someone that is glamorous or looks glamorous, I am a
mm.
human being and I'm imperfect and I'm just like you. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And I'm just like,
Wow. And I love the way you put it. And it's really this idea that I love about you, the way you're not just only a leader, you really act in leadership, the way you just about what happened last year, you were congratulating somebody who was winning in the same competition. Really, let me use the word competition because this is how the world is. And you were the one, I thought you were the winner, to be honest. And I'm not saying it, and it's really my honest feeling, but you were the winner because you were showing light to somebody else. And that's really leadership. And you talked about the fact of being a human being, and that's actually one of my first questions. What does it mean to you to be a human being?
for me, being a human being is being able to um think about yourself and think about others as well. It's very important to me. My mother always reminds me that no matter where you are, you have to not just think about yourself. It's so easy to think, oh, I, me, this, me. I think being a human being is able to is being able to empathize with others and kind of put yourself in other people's situation, and then
Mm,
just be conscious about of of what's happening around you and the kind of people you meet with. So being a human being is being empathetic, is being understanding of not just yourself and giving yourself the liberty of making mistakes, because honestly, that's pretty much the only way to learn. With mistakes, you learn from them. So I would say, yeah, being a human being is just trying to be understanding and being empathetic towards everyone else. Yeah.
Mm. I love the fact that you brought up mistakes. Oh, I make so many of them. I don't know for you, but sometimes I don't know for you, but I have the personal feeling that sometimes when we've accomplished this much in life, it may become difficult to just make mistakes. Maybe you might be afraid. I don't know for you, but this is sometimes how I feel, that I don't deserve to make any mistakes because XYZ. But of course, this is all happening in my brain, right? And it's stopping me actually sometimes to go towards what I want to do. How do you, how can I say, how do you encourage yourself to continue daring to make the mistakes?
I think when I'm going to use the COVID situation
Mm,
as
mm,
an example. I feel like when COVID happened, I felt like I had made, first of all, in the beginning of the year, I felt like this year was going to be the greatest year of my life. I
mm,
finally, that seemed impossible in the start. And the mistake that I think that I made was during the COVID, holding back and feeling like everything that I like, I'm not making any impact in the society. I felt,
mm,
and that really hit me very hard because I felt like public health and infection prevention and control is something that I'm passionate about. And I felt very powerless. And the things that I wanted to do without COVID that
mm,
could have helped COVID,
mm,
like the things that I was doing to prevent situations like this, I couldn't do anymore because I was so overwhelmed and afraid of what would happen, or how would I even take it, how would I take the step, and I ended up not doing as much as I wanted to do. So I
mm,
would say that a way that I really brought myself out of this place of feeling powerless and feeling useless to society was really just taking myself back down memory lane, and then just taking myself what a year before now, and seeing that at that time I really could have never imagined that I would actually be MBGN, most beautiful girl in Nigeria, much less Miss World Africa. That was a fairy tale to me. I remember sitting and watching Miss World and Miss Universe and Miss Earth and all of these misses, and just thinking how wonderful these girls are, how perfect they are, and just comparing myself to that and saying I could never be in that position. So something that really helped me bring myself out of what the fear of mistakes is remembering that I came from a place that was remembering where I came from, rather remembering the situation that I was in, and remembering that I had to take a risk in order for me to get here, and just reminding myself that making a mistake and taking a risk doesn't mean that my life is over. It just gives me a room, it makes room for me to learn. So I would
mm,
say, like, if you're in a place where you're scared of making mistakes, I want you to just think back to the like 10 seconds back, or how far back it was, and look at your journey from where you were and where you are now, and just really compare and just see, because I'm almost 100% certain that everyone has seen that taking that risk and making that mistake has helped them be where they are, even if it's for the smallest things, even if it's for buying a phone.
mm.
Just look back at the previous places that you've been in, and just use that to as a motivation to move forward and do the next thing, I guess.
Mm. That's really beautiful. As you were talking, I was actually envisioning some of the mistakes I've done, or some of the smallest risks I've taken that finally were, no big deal once it's done, right? Now it's really great what you're sharing there. And thank you for your openness on this current COVID situation, which is obviously for many of us, we have to embrace change or just let go or anything, but we have to do things differently, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes scary, to do things differently.
Very.
And I wanted to have kind of your feedback about that. I work with organizations and teams in which it's not always easy to embrace change, to
Mm,
embrace new ways of working and new
mm.
ways of doing. What is, from your perspective, the thought process to have in order to welcome change into our lives?
I think change for me is something that scares me, and I've noticed that with my life and the things that I've been through,
Mm,
and I'm still learning how to accept and receive change very well now. I don't know if I know an exact solution, but I know that, like I said, with COVID, when the change happened, I kind of had to stop for a minute, and it took me by surprise. So I had to like stop for a minute and really just go back to my previous times and go back to the time when I was looking at these women and calling them too perfect, and realizing that I actually lived that dream that I thought was impossible to live. Honestly, just going back and then analyzing my life and being, oh, appreciating the things that I've achieved so far. And then it's so easy once you get something that you've been dreaming about, it's so easy for you to be thinking, oh, I wish I got this, to look down on it, and forget
mm,
that at one point in time it was the goal, it was the diamond, it was the biggest thing that you could ever imagine. And once you get it and you've reached there, it's easy for you to look at it and say, oh, this is not even done that much, and it's really easy to look down on your own accomplishments. So
wow.
um just me trying to remember that my position here is a blessing to me, and just going back to when I didn't have this, and just realizing that I'm in a privileged time.
Mm,
So I can accept change, and knowing that honestly, without change, I cannot do something new. My mom, I can't remember who it is that said this to me, that you have to provide a solution to something, that people that provide solutions to things of the world are the ones that are remembered. So I'm thinking to myself, how do you make a solution if you can't change something? In order to solve something, you have to change the way that it is. So just think about it in the way that when you change, you are solving something. I think about change as a solution to something that I have that is not perfect or where I need it to be. So yeah, I would just say think about change as a solution rather than a place that I could fail. Think about it as possible a possible win.
mm. Wow. Change as a solution. I love that. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about it. Um, I was wondering, we're talking about this situation that the whole world is undergoing, and I was wondering, what do you do to stay grounded despite the storms around you? Do you have what is like Nyekashi's rituals or anything, or what do you do to stay grounded and not be distracted?
What I do, first of all, is I pray a lot. I'm Christian, and I really believe in God, and I believe in the things that He has done for me. I've seen Him work wonders in my life.
Mm,
And like I said, it's so easy for us to, in this situation especially, to feel like we're useless, to feel like we're not doing anything, or to feel like we're not impacting as much as we should because of this new change. But I would just encourage people to remember where you came from. I mean, maybe some people haven't changed for a long time, which
mm,
I doubt that you could still be in the same spot. I would say just me going back to where I've come from and appreciating what I have, and being content, and having gratitude, be having a thankful spirit for where I am and what I have, and just finding a reason to be happy, honestly. Like looking at the small things that I have. Oh, I didn't get killed here today. I woke up and I'm strong, honestly. Just be thankful about the little things you have. And then I feel like when you're thankful about what you have now, then you can see potential of what you can do with it. But if you already see it as small and useless, how are you going to use it? How are you going to produce something out of it? And my mother always says, use what you have to get what you want. And if you can't see potential in what you have, you're not thankful for it, if you're not content with it, you're never going to be able to use it to make what use it to its fullest potential. So I would say just look at the things that you have and look at it with a thankful eye and with a grateful eye and with a content eye, so that you can actually use it to bring something bigger, and achieve something that is greater than where you are now.
Hmm. No, amazing. I really love your perspective. And I've realized it seems that in the few questions that I've already asked so far, what I
Mm-hmm.
love about what your answers is that you value what happened to you, whatever happened to you in the past, you value it. Whereas sometimes, it's easy to say, oh, this happened in the past. It's not good. Let's throw it away. But I really love the way that you are building to build the new. You're actually also looking at the great things in the past. And that leads me actually to my next question, which is to know what has shaped you in your past? What are the most significant things which have shaped you to be who you are today?
I think growing up, I had a lot of, in fact, I was a completely different person because of the way that life had put it. I wasn't from, my family weren't wealthy. We were relatively poor. We were lower than middle class. And my parents value education. Education is the A1 for them. So they did manage to save up everything that they have and send myself and my siblings to a really prestigious school in what was known as the best primary school in my neighborhood. And I remember that, obviously, coming from having a background that is not exactly wealthy and going home to a yard that is shared with other families and that kind of setting, and then bringing that to a school with people that are, I looked at that
Mm,
time from my eye, it looked like they were perfect and they had everything handed to them and everything was just so much easier. And meeting that and having them look, because I was different, I was from a completely different kind of social background, and it was evident. You could see that I was wearing uniform that my sister had passed on down to me, and she was like, what, 2 years or 3 years or 4 years even ahead of me in class. And I was wearing that till the very time that I graduated. I think it was in my senior year that I changed my uniform for the first time. But anyways,
mm,
just that, and having been called different things, dirty, unhygienic, and all of this, it affected me in a way that I did not understand until I actually went to started college and studied public health and realized that, wow, my personal hygiene really affected the way that I saw myself. So I would say that um when I was smaller, the thing that really molded me as a child is the things that people said to me. I know they were not nice, they were harmful, and the way that
mm.
I learned about it and the way that I took it in. And obviously the way that my mother guided me when those things were told to me. I'm so sorry about the sudden sounds
It's
here.
okay. It's okay. We can hear
Going
you
on
well.
off, and then it just takes so much. I'm
It's the
sorry.
it's the challenges of the new world. But it's okay. We can hear you well. So far, I can hear you very well. If you don't see me
Okay.
anymore, I think you'll be worried. But it's okay. Really, it's okay. Don't worry. Thank
Um,
you.
So something that I would say that really molded me is being able to have the background of someone that is not very privileged and seeing privilege and just
Mm,
facing it, and that I feel like it was so important for me to have that, and
mm,
and also being able to go to a great school so I can know that there is a difference between this and this. And then now, which has kind of molded me now to want to build a place where people from my background can also experience, the difference,
mm. Wow.
and give them a chance to kind of explore their own passions and their dreams. Because as a child, it's so easy. I feel like we're taught out of our creativity. I know people say you get creative as you grow, but honestly, a child is so creative and it's so out of the box. And I feel like we really throw that away now. We're really teaching only one kind of um knowledge and one kind of education, and you just have to know math, English, and languages and all of that. But then I feel like I wasn't able to explore my talent when I was little because of the place that I was from. But then when I went to school, I saw these other people doing so many things with their lives, and I was able to then use it to my advantage. And then that has changed my life and definitely molded me to who I am today. And I want to use that I've learned and I've seen to make a place for people that are from like places that I was from as well, and to just
Mm.
kind of make a change, even if I can change one person's life. That's that's amazing.
Wow. That it's really, I love the way you put it. It's really great. I love the fact when you talked about when you saw something, said something like when you saw privilege, or when you
Mm,
saw something you could aspire to, it
mm,
really made who you are today.
yes,
And
honestly.
I love the fact that you said that, because one of the goal one of the goals of the conversations of excellence is also to give hope. I, I have a tear which wanted to come, because it really, sorry,
Aww.
it is also, oh, I didn't see this coming. One of the
Aww.
goals of the conversations of excellence is also to give hope to people, where they can, see others who have made it somehow in any domain that is possible.
Mm,
Talk about that human side. Talk
mm,
about the fact that we're all human beings. We all have our stories. We all have our fears. We all have our insecurities. We're also trying to figure it out. But still, despite that, we took courage from somewhere, from seeing others, as you said, because my case too, it is from seeing others, and there are other different ways of doing that. But if you don't see it, you can't imagine it.
yes.
It's as if you're interviewing me now. It's just to say, I'm so drawn into what you said, and it really touched me. So thank you for that. Thank you for bringing it forward, because I do believe too that when you see something, you're able to believe in it. If
Mm,
you don't see it, if you haven't even like read it, or it cannot come into your mind and plant that seed. So
mm,
I'm really grateful that you brought it up. Thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing it up. I almost lost my voice for this one, but I'm back. So no, that's really beautiful, and it brings me actually to another question. That one is because I remember the first time ever we talked together. You were
okay.
talking to me about your mother.
Mm,
And I was wondering, it seems to me, but I may be wrong, but it seems to me that she had a huge impact in what you're doing today. And I
mm,
wanted to know if you could share with us how much your connection with your mother has been important for you in who you are today and what
um,
you've accomplished.
my mother is, in fact, the very reason why I'm standing here today, and she's the fuel to the generator of my life, pretty much. Because, like I said, she worked like like she made sure that we had the education that I have, and she gave me the opportunity to see the difference between here and here, to see the different kind of lifestyle and to pick which one that I wanted for myself. And she honestly
Mm,
that vision to want to give other children from my similar background the chance to see themselves as something else rather than limit themselves to the surrounding that they are at. And honestly, she's taught me something that has been so important to me now, and that is honesty, and being honest with not just with the people around me but with myself. And
mm,
in this industry now, this sudden fame that I've acquired, it's so easy to want to lie, not just to others, to yourself. I think that's the worst kind of lie, the lie that you tell to yourself, and to put up a fake life, and to live all extravagant. I don't know how it is for you, but in my country, it's really big to see our celebrities or what you call them, I guess I can call them celebrities.
Yeah.
They really have extravagant lives. And honestly, she's kind of reminded me where I've come from, and
Mm.
reminded me that that's not the kind of image I want to show. I don't want to show kids that when they become Miss World Africa, they're just gonna buy a
Mm.
Mercedes Benz, and they're just gonna live in a fancy house, when that truly isn't how it is. Honestly, being a queen is not about being able to buy so and so. It's about using that thing that you have, that voice that you have, to make a change, to make a difference. So my mother has really been the reminding force for me. She has stood by me in ways that I cannot explain. Like I said, she worked hand in hand with my father to make sure that we had an education that was out of the normal, to put me in that place where I can imagine myself
Mm.
somewhere. And even though she did that in the way that she still, I don't know how she still managed to make sure that I maintained humility, and I do not look down on the people from the home that I was brought up in. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Honestly, I'm still learning to be humble. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's very hard not to be humble. It's very hard. It's very easy not to be humble in this situation. It's very easy to just want to be extravagant with the things that you have, to want to portray a false life that isn't necessarily real, and just to be like that. But then she's really reminded me, honestly, you need to know where you're coming from, the things that you gain. Honestly, you are not here because of you. You are here because of the people that voted for you, that supported you, and you are here because of the people that are like you, that you need to change. So she's really reminded me of all of that, and that my mother is, she's too important to me. She's the driving force for my being here.
Wow. I imagine that if she sees this conversation, I imagine her feeling this, listening to you. It's really beautiful, and I feel with what you shared that sometimes we don't take the time to, to acknowledge our parents, because it seems obvious that they support us, right? And it's so beautiful to hear you say that for your mother, and I really do hope that she will have the opportunity to listen to what you said. It's really beautiful. um I'm so drawn into our conversation. I think what I wanted to ask you as a next question, you talked about using your voice to
Mm.
ignite a certain transformation or a certain change. What is the most significant change or transformation that you want to see within the world or your community?
Um, there's like 5,000 of them, but then I'm just gonna pick one. Um, I think in my country, I'm going to use that as a specimen.
Mm.
Our youth recently, we've been doing this movement called End SARS. So
Mm.
basically, pretty much what's happening is SARS is a unit for protection here in Nigeria that is to a special anti-robbery units. Pretty much what they do is to attack robbers, and then like obviously stop robbery and all of that. But then they've become the armed robbers themselves, and they've been attacking people that will stop you. I remember like a two last month, my father was actually stopped in his car, and they went through his car and took everything that was valuable to him, and they left, which is something that shouldn't be happening, especially not from the police, because you're supposed to protect us. So one thing that I want to change, first of all, is it's not just it started it's not just like the police. Pretty much I want the government and the people of our country, in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world, to invest in our children. Like, I feel like the reason why, first of all, they always look down on us, the youths in this country. They always say stuff like, oh, you guys are not doing anything. But the thing is, you've not given us the platform to. And look at, let's use the entertainment industry for an example now. I've said this before. in a different interview, but I'm going to say it again. Nigeria has probably one of the biggest entertainment industry in Africa. But then if you look at the people in this industry, you can't find anyone below. It's usually from 25 and above. Very few in the mid 25, 22, 23 in that. Because we are not building these people. We're not giving these people the chance to hone their talents. Like there's no space here in Nigeria for you to be a creative. There's just none here in Nigeria. And what I really want to change is I want us to invest in our people. I want us to see the value in our people rather than just seeing the value. Like in my country now, our biggest thing is oil. That's the way we make our money in this country. But then I want us to kind of develop our children and more education. Like we need to educate our people here, and we need to give them a space where they can grow their talents. Like why do the ones that make it in Nigeria have to go out of Nigeria? Or most of the people, in fact, in the whole of Africa have to go out of Africa and then do something and then now come back. Why can't we make a space for us to develop our own here? So I'm saying we need to cater for our creatives. We need to look at what our 10-year-old child is saying. Like Joe said, the things that the 10-year-old child says and is passionate about is something that we need to look out for, and we need to start training these children from that small age. We don't need to wait till they're 40. In Nigeria, you can't be in the entertainment industry or do anything on your own, or chase your passions until you're older, until you finish university, because no parent is going to support you. We need to inform and educate the children and educate their parents as well to see the importance of like just protecting their dreams and not just what the parents want. I understand that you want the best for the children and you don't want them to be poor, but honestly, they're not gonna be fulfilled if they're living your dream. Let them live their dreams and just provide a place for us to protect our passions and our creativities. Give us education and give us the space to just grow. Yeah, I think we definitely need to. This has gone way longer than I expected it to. But then I think a change that I want to see is to see people start valuing people and seeing the resources in human beings, seeing the resources in our children, and then investing in it. That's what I want to see.
Wow, that was deep. And it's really, if I want to summarize it, it's like it seems to you that we need to see the importance of being a human being,
Mm-hmm.
the youth,
Mm-hmm.
and protecting the creativity
Mm-hmm.
of these young people.
Mm-hmm.
And it leads me to one of my favorite questions. Well, you mentioned it a little, and I guess you know what will be the question, but I'm going to ask it. If you had to have a conversation with yourself at 10 years old, Nyekachi,
Mm-hmm.
10 years old, what would you tell her?
You actually became MBGN. Like that's crazy.
Would you
I
tell her
think
that at
one
10
of
years
the
old?
I would be like, you did it. You did it. Oh my God. You actually, you are actually a beauty queen, because something, like I said, when I was small, a lot of people told me that I wasn't beautiful. And I had to
Wow.
define my definition of beauty was
Wow.
how you looked on the face, or even I feel like I'm pretty. I feel like I don't look too bad. I feel like I'm appealing to the eyes.
You're
But
not
then
too bad. You're not too bad.
and then I've been made to not see myself as
Mm,
beautiful.
mm,
And at that time, I didn't see, even though I wanted it so bad, I watched about it, I dreamt about it. Abani Derego is the first Miss World from Nigeria, and she was my neighbor. And then
mm.
I could never, I said to me at that time when I was 10, I could only pretend to be it and I couldn't be it because I wasn't as beautiful.
Wow.
That's what I was told in school. I was told that I wasn't pretty. Even when I won most beautiful girl in Nigeria, they said, they called me Miss Nigeria. They said, is it Miss Nigeria or Mr. Nigeria? And it's like
Wow.
just seeing all of that and the way
Mm,
people define beauty and the way that affected me and myself. And the worst thing is if when you now don't even see yourself
mm.
beautiful when you've been made to not, you've been made to believe something that isn't true about you. So that was an issue. But then I would just tell my younger self that they were just chatting rubbish and you actually became a queen. First of all, don't doubt yourself anymore, and don't look down on yourself. Don't look down
Mm.
on yourself, because you're just as powerful and you have it all inside of you. You have to look at you look at that dream and you keep chasing it. Don't let anything anybody says to you push you down. Take it and make something good out of it. If it's bad, just throw it away.
Whew. Oh boy, that would be a conversation. I can feel that you would be so happy going back to her and saying, "You did it."
You did. You don't understand how incredibly crazy. If someone told me at 10 years old that I would actually be Miss World Africa,
Yeah.
I would cry because I would think they were being mean to me again. But then
Oh.
it actually happened. It's crazy. I'm thankful to God. Honestly, I have to give glory. Thank you so much, God, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Hmm. Wow. That is, I enjoyed so much the minutes that we spent together. I don't know for you.
I love it. I love, and I hope that I'm able to touch someone's life. Something I want to talk about is beauty. Um a lot beauty, first of all, I think most people think when they hear the word beauty, you think about the way that a person looks physically, which can be someone's definition of beauty. My definition of beauty has changed so much over time. There's been a time that like I said, beauty is how you looked physically, how many people liked you. But now I think what I see as beauty is someone's ambition. I think it's so beautiful when someone is passionate about what they are passionate about something and really is chasing it with passion, even in a place where they can't. When I see someone that is chasing something that is hard to chase, and I know that they're just passionate about it and they're ambitious, that is the most beautiful thing to me. That is the most attractive thing to me. So I say, don't let someone define your own beauty. I want you to look at the things that you like and the things that you value and let that be beautiful to you, not what people say. Don't let that put you down. Don't let someone else define your own beauty. Define your beauty yourself. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Hmm. Amazing. I was actually going to ask you, is there something I did not ask you about? And you brought it up by yourself. I think this was an amazing conversation, Nyekashi. But I'm
Thank
still going to
you.
ask that question. Is there what would be your last word before we close this beautiful moment together?
Hmm. Thinking. I want people to see, especially the people in Nigeria, to see being a beauty queen not just as being glamorous,
Mm,
to really see it as a place where you can reach out to people more than being famous. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, when I first was going for this, a little bit of me wanted this because I wanted to be famous. I want to be a queen. I wanted to be
mm,
defined as beauty, as people call it. But then I've learned that it's not about, okay, it's very little to me. For me, it's very little about the beauty, it's very little about the glamour, and it's more about what I can do with it, what my voice can change. Because when you're in this position, I need you to understand that a lot of people are looking at you, and your actions, the words that you say, the way that you act, the way that you treat certain things is going to translate something to the younger girls. And you really don't want them having the wrong, like, you don't want them thinking like me, like how I thought what beauty was and like, sorry, like how I defined myself. I didn't define myself as beauty. I didn't see myself as beautiful at that time. And you really don't want people to say, oh, okay, being a beauty queen, I have to have $1 million or this and this and this. I have to have a really pointy nose or this and this. I just think just don't try to just don't put a false notion up or something that is going to mislead our young girls. More than putting the glamorous side, I really want you to put out the things that you do that show your heart, that show the inner beauty rather than the outside beauty. I really want that to be the driving force when you become a queen, or for our future queens or our current queens. Please, please make it more about your work than about your beauty. I really like it when I see people doing stuff. Thank you.
Mm. Nyekachi, thank you. I'm losing my voice, really. I'm just so drawn.
Sorry.
It's not you. It's really, I'm so drawn into what you're saying. And this is really what these conversations are about. Telling the truth to people, what there is behind
Mm-hmm.
achievement, what there is behind all the glamour. It's a responsibility. And you mentioned it very
Mm-hmm.
well. I love the way you brought that up. And I'm so grateful that you have been able to free your time today and to say things as they are to people. I'm
Oh,
just,
thank
thank
you.
you very, very much. These are the types of conversations that I really value. So thank you for being part of this vision and for sharing with the people. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Nyekashi. And I'm looking forward. Sorry, what did you say? I cut you. I'm so
I
drawn.
just thank you for the opportunity to speak and
Welcome.
share. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome. Welcome. And thanks a lot. So bye, Nyekashi. Thank you. Bye bye.